Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming at you with another collaboration with Amber from Makeup is My Art. If you don't know who Amber is, I'm going to link her channel right here. Amber is like my sister from another mother when it comes to makeup. We have such similar taste when it comes to makeup and we're always in touch about all the new releases. If I buy something that I think she will enjoy, I immediately let her know about it. So basically we enable each other to spend more money on makeup, which is terrible. But I think none of us really minds. So I don't know what that says about us. We're probably horrible people who like to spend tons of money on makeup they don't really need. Okay, moving on. Anyway, so for today's video we have chosen to do a 3 looks type of situation. We've done that before with the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and today we're going to be doing it with the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. The Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette was their holiday release, I think their Christmas release, and basically it is this gorgeous beauty which contains 20 metallic ultra foiled type of shadows. I've actually done a review, tutorial and swatches for this palette, so I am going to leave a link to that somewhere up here or here. I'm not really sure which direction it goes, but either way I'm going to leave a link to that somewhere so that you can check it out if you're interested in the swatches and my thoughts on the palette. So I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the palette today because I just want to immediately jump into the tutorials because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a really long video. But I think for now I'll just leave you with the 3 tutorials. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the 3 looks that I created. Don't forget to check out Amber's video because she will have 3 different looks for you. Okay, my hair is wet, so let's just disregard it. Usual disclaimer, I've already applied my eyeshadow base and I'm going to be using the NYX HD eyeshadow base for reference. And now let's jump into the look that I'm going for today. So the look that I'm going to be doing with the heavy metals today is going to be colorful. So we're going to focus on the colorful side of this palette, and I really want to do something with the green over here because I think this is one of my absolute favorite shades in this palette. I love these sort of like almost gray tinged greens. I really like those, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. And I would actually like to use this metallic blue over here because I think this is the only shadow or one of the very few shadows that I still haven't actually dipped into, and this one performs pretty badly on a swatch, so I'm actually really curious how it's going to apply on the eyes. Another thing I want to try with you today, something I've never actually done a tutorial on, and that is a two-toned look. So for today's look we are actually going to be using 2 different lid shades on both of my eyes. We're going to do a green eye and a blue eye, and we're going to find out whether my boss notices because we have a meeting today. And I'm really curious whether he's going to say something about it. I mean, he's really used to seeing me with all kinds of crazy colors, but today we're going to be sitting one-on-one because we have a very important meeting to discuss my future at the lab. And I'm very curious whether he will make a comment about my different made-up eyes. For now though, we're going to leave the Heavy Metals palette aside and I'm going to take my Kat Von D Metal Matte palette because I don't think you can use the Heavy Metals palette on its own to create looks. That's just my humble personal opinion. I always resort to other palettes in order to create my full looks with this palette, and I'm going to take a number of the matte eyeshadows over here from the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette. I adore this palette. This is probably one of my favorite makeup releases of all time. So I use this palette all the time, and I especially like to pair it with the heavy metals because of the very wide variety of beautiful, colorful matte shades that you get here. So I think for the blue eye, we're definitely going to go into velour. For the green eye, we're definitely going to use moss. And I think as a transition shade, I'm going to take suede. So this is the first shade I'm going to start the look off with. Going to take that on a large fluffy blender, you know the spiel. I use these types of shades to blend from the crease upwards because I have a lot of space between my moving lid and my crease. And I'm going to start building up suede. Suede we're going to put on both eyes because it's just going to serve as transition for the blue and the green that we're going to put later on. For my brow bone highlight, I'm going to dip into this shade over here, which is called Bone. I'm really sorry guys, this palette, as a lot of Kat Von D palettes, is really awkward to hold because it's so huge. But this is just a brow bone highlight shade, there's nothing exciting about it. I don't know whether you can see, but I'm actually also wearing two different colors of earrings today. This one is blue, this one is green. So maybe I'm going to also stick with that for the eyeshadow. So I'm going to do green here and I'm going to do blue here. And we're going to see how that goes. So I'm going to use different blending brushes for the blue and the green, by the way, just because I feel like it's much easier to not muddy up the colors together if you just stick to different brushes for each of them. So I am going to take this brush from Zoeva. It is a beautiful crease brush, and I'm going to first dip into the blue for this eye. So I'm going to dip into Velour. These shades are incredibly pigmented, so you have to be very careful when you dip into them. Do you see how much pigment that gave off? And I just literally touched my skin. Oh, I literally just touched my skin with the tip of the brush. So just going to start applying that slightly here in the outer corner and crease area, building it up slowly, bringing it up towards suede. I'm going to take another one of those Zoeva brushes and I'm going to dip into the green, so the moss shade. And that is going to go on my right eye. Same story, just start building it up slowly and then bring it up towards suede. Okay, so we're going for something like this. We might do some additional fixing work later on, but for now I think this is fine. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take glitter glue. This one is from Darling Girl, and I recommend using the Urban Decay Heavy Metals shade either with some sort of a glitter glue that they can stick to, or fixing them with some sort of a fixing spray or even water, if you will. But don't use them dry because they're a little bit flaky and I don't think you're going to get the intensity that you want. So I'm going to apply the glitter glue on the moving part of the lid where I don't have any of the matte shade on each eye. And something I've talked about before as well, I use these types of shades by just dipping in with my finger. I'm not going to use a brush. You can use a brush if you feel more comfortable with that, but I'm going to just dip my finger here into Mullet, and that's going to go over the right eye. Theoretically, by the way, you could switch them already up and do the green here and the blue on the lid here, but I want to stick to monochromatic and I'm going to switch them up on my lower lash line just so it's not totally crazy. But let's first apply Mullet here all over the lid. This is such a beautiful shade, I really like it. And using a different finger, dip into the blue shade over here, which is called Dive. This one is a little bit chunkier. I don't know whether you can see also on my finger. See how smooth Mullet is and see how chunky Dive is? Not that that's necessarily a problem, especially over a glitter base, but let's find out. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the brush on which I had the blue and just slightly blend around the edges, just so there's no harsh line between the shimmery shade and the matte shade. I'm going to repeat that same action on the green eye as well. Next I'm going to take a brush like this one. This is a lip brush which I use for eyeshadow, and I'm going to spritz that with Fix Plus. And then I'm going to dip consequentially into the green and the blue, just to see whether I can get them to look even more stunning and metallic. And because I live for the more metallic. The more metallic the better is my motto in life. feel like they're already looking pretty good as it is. The blue actually is looking pretty good. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to take this shade over here, which is called Angel Fire. I am going to also be spritzing my brush for Angel Fire, because Angel Fire is definitely a really very chunky shade, so you do need to apply this foiled. I'm going to pop that in the inner corners of both eyes, because I feel like it just works with both looks. To make things even more fun and even more Mariam, we're going to take these two heavy metal glitter liners, also from Urban Decay. One is in the shade Distortion, the other one is in the shade Amp. And I'm going to apply a little bit of Amp in the center of the blue eye. Just like this. And I'm going to take a little bit of Distortion and apply it in the center of the green eye. Right here. You can definitely apply more of the glitter liner if you want. I think I'm going to leave it like this. And another thing I don't think I'm going to do today is wing liner, because I just really don't feel like it today. So I'm going to take a green and a blue pencil, and we're going to be doing the lower lash line, and we're going to be switching them off for the lower lash line. So for my left eye, I'm going to take my green, which is Have a Green from Essence. I've used this pencil a ton on my channel. And I'm going to apply that on my waterline as a base for the green shade. And then I'm going to take this one from Urban Decay, which is called Accuse. And that's going to go here on my right eye. I'm going to go into the Heavy Metals palette, and I'm going to take Mullet on this small smudger type of brush, and I'm going to apply Mullet over top of the green pencil right here in my waterline. Like so. Then I'm going to dip into Dive with the same brush and apply that over here. So this is my first look with the Heavy Metals palette from Urban Decay. I really hope you enjoyed this two-toned take that I had on the palette, and I personally think that two-toned looks can go one of two ways. You can either go really contrasting and obvious, and you can go a little bit more inconspicuous, such as this look. I think you can totally pull this off without people really noticing that you're wearing two different colors on your eyelids, just because I feel like blue and green are so complementary and they go so well together, and they're so... like they're both cool toned looks, so you can easily pull this off and have it be a little bit more inconspicuous. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for look number 2. Okay guys, so for today's look we're going to do something a little bit more warm toned and neutral, let's say, because I'm feeling like the orangey and red tones. So I'm first going to grab for my Naked Heat palette over here, and I'm going to go in with some of the matte shades. And I'm going to start a little bit with Chaser and Low Blow in my crease, and I'm going to apply Ounce as a brow bone highlight. Just letting you know. Starting with the lighter shade, so that's Chaser. Putting it through my crease and applying upwards. Quickly going to pop Ounce now on my brow bone, just so we're finished with that. Right, now I'm going to go into Low Blow, so the mustardy type of brown shade, and I'm going to try to concentrate that with the same brush, by the way, a bit more through the crease and not so much towards the brow bone, just to get a bit of a gradient there. Don't worry about being too precise, because we're just making a little bit of a shade transitioning here. I'm going to grab a smaller crease type of brush, and I'm going to go into this shade over here, which is called He Devil, and I'm going to start building that up in the outer corner of the eye. And if necessary, I'm going to go, by the way, with En Fuego here to deepen the crease. So we're just building up some mattes in the crease to create depth. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'm going to deepen the crease a little bit more if I feel the need to later. But for now, we are going to take a sticky base, because I like applying my heavy metal shades always over a glitter glue. I'm going to take Darling Girls glitter glue, as per usual. Going to apply that all over my lids in a very thin layer. You know the spiel. It is always pretty much the same thing here. Okay. Applying a thin layer of that here. Okay, so the shades I'm going to go into today are this beautiful red over here, which is called After Party, and this gorgeous orange, which is called Starfire. And I think I'm going to pop Angel Fire in my inner corners. As usual, we use fingers, dudes. On my channel, we use fingers a lot. So I'm going to take the beautiful red and pop that here on the outer part of the lid. Oh crap, this is so pretty. Ugh, love it, love it, love it, love it. Just like this, grabbing another finger, an adjacent finger, and dipping into Starfire, so the orangey shade, and applying that towards the inner half of the lid. Don't worry if it looks super unblended, we're going to fix that. You can build up the colors to an intensity that you wish. I personally like my eyeshadows to be really intense, which is why I dip multiple times. You don't have to do that if you prefer something a little less intense and a bit more inconspicuous. I am not about the inconspicuous life. I actually changed my mind about what I want to put in the inner corners. I actually want to put a gold, because I think it would go really well with this look. So I'm going to take a little smudger type of brush like this one, and I'm going to dip into this gold here, which is called Twisted. Let's see how I like this. It's a little bit like an antique gold type of shade, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, it's actually not looking too bad. I don't think I've ever actually used that gold shade. I prefer my golds to be a little more orange tinged. What you can do now is take a brush and just start going around the edges of the orange and the red, applying both of them in increments, just to get them to blend a little bit better. And don't worry, we're also going to apply a bit of glitter in the center of the lid, so that's going to help the two shades to blend with each other even better. I definitely feel like I need to go back into my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back into En Fuego and just intensify that outer corner here a little bit more. Give everything one nice blend around. Okay. Now for that glitter I was referring to earlier, we're going to take the Urban Decay Heavy Metals glitter liner in the shade Midnight Cowboy, And I'm going to apply Midnight Cowboy in the center of my lids, right here, especially where the orange and the red meet each other. Just like so. Okay, now I'm going to apply some very boring liquid liner, and I'm going to go with black to suit the rest of my clothes today. I'm going to go with the Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Booster in deep black. If one of your wings looks perfect and the other one ends up looking like shit, you can take makeup remover wipe and just try to fix that a little bit with a little bit of this action. Okay, for the lower lash line, the first thing I'm going to do is take this pencil in Berry Mary from Essence. It's a beautiful, kind of a aubergine purpley. Last shade we're going to take from the Heavy Metals palette is this gorgeous shade over here, which is called Rhody. Rhody is like a red tinged brown. I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's a really pretty shade. I'm going to pop that right here. Okay guys, so this is the second finished look, and just in case you were wondering what's on my lips, it is my MAC Viva Glam in collaboration with Sia. I absolutely love this lipstick for a number of reasons. First of all, because it is in collaboration with Sia. I think that's the main reason why I bought it. Second of all, it's one of the most gorgeous shades of red ever. I love it. Anyhow, that was it for the second look using the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette, and I will see you tomorrow for the third and final look. Okay guys, so for the final look, I have a pretty solid idea I want to do, and it's once again more on the colorful side. So I'm once again going to take my Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, and the shades we're going to start off with today are this one over here, which is called Fringe, and then I'm going to sequentially deepen the crease with these two shades, which are called Silk and Ribbon. So we're going for a pink purpley crease. Starting off with Fringe, which is the peachy pink. Just rocking that through the crease and up. Okay, then I'm going to take a somewhat smaller crease brush, and I'm going to dip into Silk, which is the mid-tone purple shade, and I'm going to rock that right here through the crease, just to deepen Fringe a little bit, the pinky peach shade. And now I'm going to take an even smaller pencil type of brush, and I'm going to dip into the darkest purple, which is Ribbon. And that's going to go in the very outer corner right here. Oh, that's dark. What you can also do is just take the smaller crease brush on which you had Silk and just start blending around the edges of the dark purple with that. As per usual, we're going to be applying some glitter glue, so I'm going to take Darling Girl glitter glue. I'm going to apply a little bit of that on my moving lid where I have the empty space. So just dab, dab, dab. And now let's go into the Heavy Metals palette from Urban Decay. And we're going to be hanging out mostly around this part here again, the jewel toned colorful side. I'm going to stick my finger into this gorgeous purple over here, which is called Spandex. And that's going to go all over my lids, or most of them. I'm feeling the purple today. To make things a little more interesting, I'm going to spritz my brush here, so a really flat shader brush with a little bit of Fix Plus. And now I'm going to dip into this lighter purple over here, which is called Metalhead. And I'm going to apply Metalhead over top of Spandex, a little bit more towards the center, but pretty much all over the lid anyway. Just to intensify that purple and give it even a little bit of more of that blue tinge. Now you can clean off the brush from Metalhead, so the same flat shader brush. I'm going to spritz it again just to make sure that it's wet. And now I'm going to go into that stunning turquoise shade over here, which is called Amp. And I'm going to take that, and hopefully I will be able to put that in my inner corners and it won't be too dark. You can take a bit more of silk and rock it right here in order to blend the shades well together. Give them a bit more of a soft edge. Okay, and of course this look will not be complete if I don't dip into the Urban Decay Heavy Metals glitter liner, also in the shade Amp. And that's basically going to go in my inner corners all over the eyeshadow. So right here. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take this silver pencil in the shade C'est la vie. It's from Essence. I'm going to apply that in my waterline. And taking a clean smudger type of brush, I'm going to dip into this shade over here. It's like a very dark gunmetal gray, and it's called Ground. And this shade is going to go in my waterline and lower lash line. So guys, this was my third and final look for the 3 looks collaboration with Amber from Makeup Is My Art on the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. I hope you enjoyed all 3 looks. I think they all turned out really differently, so I hope that you all can draw some inspiration from each of the 6 looks that we have created. I'm really curious what Amber has created with her palette. I'm definitely going to leave a link to her video in the description box below, so please don't forget to check it out because I'm sure she created some beautiful looks as well, as usual. I'm sure this video already turned out pretty long, so I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks so much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!